Good morning. Welcome into another installment of Trust Matters, Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions with Gateville Law Firm and Sean Robertson. They're at gatevillelawfirm.com and located in Yorkville. Sean, welcome back. How are you today?
Doing great.
Excellent. All right, so today we're diving into selling real estate through a revocable living trust. Give us a little background on what we're talking about here, please.
So a revocable living trust is an estate planning tool, and a lot of times people put their properties in a trust, and so if they pass away or they just want to sell and their house is in a trust, that's kind of what this segment is about.
So you're kind of setting up the transaction preemptively and putting everything in place, so when that happens, it's kind of able to be taken care of pretty, without too much complication.
Correct.
Ideally.
Correct. Exactly. Or even a parent may die, unfortunately, or a parent may be going into like an assisted living center and they have to sell the house.
Okay. So let's walk through the steps here. How do we want to let our listeners know what the best way to go about this is?
So generally the first step is you hire a real estate agent and then they come up with a real estate purchase contract, which there's going to be a new type of contract as of February 1st. So basically when they sell their home, a buyer puts in an offer, there's a contract that the seller accepts. That's the first step.
Okay, so then what happens next?
Then what happens next is the normal process for a closing, which is they go through attorney review, they the buyer has a home inspection, and a lot of times what happens is we have to clean up the name on the contract because a lot of people don't know the correct name of their revocable living trust.
All right, so what are some of the other elements here within these steps that our listeners need to know about?
Yeah, so the other thing that you need to know about is you're going to need a copy of your revocable living trust, and you can get us a copy. And typically, a revocable trust it's a written document that basically tells who's in charge, and it also tells the powers of the trustee. The title company needs to see that, and we normally ask for the whole trust. In worst case scenario, we can always do what they call a certificate of trust, which is a summary of the trust. So the title company doesn't necessarily need to know who's inheriting and some of the privacy details.
And clearly, as we've talked about on previous shows, one of the main benefits of setting this up is to avoid probate court.
Correct. One of the benefits of a revocable living trust and selling through a trust upon an incapacity or death, that's why you create a trust, is there's no probate. It's an easy situation. There's no going to court. So that's one of the benefits of selling real estate through a living trust.
And then working our way towards the end, you get to the closing, and some important signing has to take place there, of course.
Yeah, so what the sellers will do is they will sign a trustee's deed, which is different than a normal deed. A trustee's deed is basically one or two people are the trustees. They're signing the closing documents. They're the ones that have the power on behalf of the trust on the heirs to bind the estate or to bind the trust. And a lot of times they will either have the title company send a check to the trustee of the trust, or sometimes we'll have the trustee say, we want to split the check 4 ways. So that's essentially what occurs with the selling real estate through a revocable living trust.
And then if you're purchasing property as well, there's some important steps there, right, in terms of contacting your financing company and all the rest of that?
Oh, yeah. A lot of times, let's say somebody is selling their real estate and it's in a living trust and they're buying another property. You're going to want to make sure that your loan company sees a copy of your revocable trust because you want your next property to be titled in your revocable trust. That way it avoids probate court.
Well, of course, Gateville Law Firm, the folks that can handle all of these tough questions for you, difficult situations. It can be confusing, but that's where you guys come in and can take care of all of this stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, Gateville Law Firm is where you need to go. They are located in Yorkville. They're online at gatevillelawfirm.com. You can contact Gateville Law Firm, talk to Sean, talk to members of his team at 630-780-1034. Because trust matters, It's Real Estate and Estate Planning Solutions from Gateville Law Firm. We'll see you next week.